Sadly, 20 people have reportedly died and 2 others are still missing after those floods in KZN. The emergency services in that province says most of the roads and highways are flooded, making it difficult for people to get around. Some schools that have also been affected by the floods have been closed, and our senior reporter Desin Thathia is there for us to give us an update. Desin, I just have to let you know that we might have to cut you to go to that eThekwini briefing around the flooding, but just give me an update of what's going on there. Are you by the ocean? I'm sure it's quite worse where you are.
It is, and I'm not going to waste any time, Maseko. I know that's a very important briefing, so I'm going to show you what's behind me right now. This is what the ocean looks like. It's absolutely an incredible sight. We were driving past here. We were on our way to an active rescue just to bring you some of those visuals, because that's currently happening in many parts of the city right now. Emergency services workers, search and rescue teams, just the general population, people reaching out, trying to help each other and get people out of that are trapped in houses, people that can't get out of their homes, people that are stranded in their cars. There has been so many of those incidents and just not enough people to go around to get to all of those cases. The situation right now is dire. Most of the main roads into the city are either damaged or flooded or just inaccessible. To the north, you've got the N2. Parts of that are collapsing already. We've received reports of a bridge near Mhlali on the N2. That bridge seems to be shifting. There are reports of damage on the M4. There are further reports of damage on the N2 South. And what this has really meant now is that it's hindered access to these areas where people need help. That really is the main thing right now, the priority for the workers, the emergency services workers that have been doing this since last night, since yesterday. They've been doing it non-stop, and right now there are still people that they need to reach. It's difficult to put a number to it right now. Even the numbers that we have are preliminary numbers, and that's because right now as we speak there are other bodies that are being recovered. Just a short while ago I got a report of a baby that was recovered. He was in a car with his family. They were washed away up north. There are many such cases. There are other people that are trapped under rubble to the west of where I am now. That's where search and rescue teams are heading. If I had to show you my phone, Maseko, you would not believe the number of messages that I'm receiving from medics, from police, from people that are on the ground, of things that are actively happening right now. It's non-stop. My phone did not stop ringing, and that should show you or tell you how busy it is. And the saddest part is that some of the rescuers that I'm talking about are talking to me about the number of children that have been harmed, children that have passed away in these floods. Some of them in vehicles as they cross over low-lying bridges. That's when vehicles have been washed away. The list just goes on. Last night at about 2:30 a.m. there was a rescue that was completed in Verulam. That was where about 12 people were taken out. There was a temple there that was starting to flood. People had gathered then on the roof to try to get to a place of safety. This is the situation now where we really see for the first time the true extent of it. Last night we were working in the dark. To really put this into perspective, Maseko, Nkaniso and myself, my camera colleague, we couldn't get home last night. We had to stay at a hotel. There are colleagues that couldn't get to work today because they just simply can't pass through those roads to get here. That's what we're dealing with as we try to bring you these stories. If we have time, Maseko, and you can cut me off if you need to get to that briefing, I just want to talk to some of the residents that are gathered here. Ma'am, how are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I was just saying to my colleague that I've never seen anything like this. Were you affected badly by the storm during last night?
I wasn't affected as like many other people were affected, who my heart goes out to. This is a raging chocolate inferno. I've never seen anything like it. My heart goes out to the people who have lost their homes. All this litter, this debris, I've just never seen anything like it.
Do you find yourself having a certain degree of anxiety being in Durban, watching this and knowing what's going on around you?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's devastation. I'm speechless almost. I've never seen anything quite like this. I mean, look at this wave, my gosh.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Let me just move over here. So how are you? All right, we're on eNCA. I just want to find out, how were you affected, or how was your family affected by the storm last night?
We had a lot of friends and families affected due to the weather for the last 72 hours. Even our businesses have been affected badly in the port of Durban. We have got seamen that have actually cannot get back home due to roads being closed. We cannot get to the port of Durban, so it's been really, really bad.
And what are you going through right now? As we watch this, we know that a lot is unfolding. There's still further damage that is popping up. Are you feeling a certain sense of anxiety living in Durban right now?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, to go through this and for friends, family, the people that we live with to be, we had the looting, now we have this. It's very sad for us, very, very sad.
Thank you very much. Maseko, there's another problem here, and that's trying to house people that needed to be evacuated. We received reports that almost the entire band of Mloti, which is a coastal town not far from where I am now, probably about 20-25 minutes from where I'm standing now, that entire band had to be evacuated. So people living in buildings that are sea-facing had to leave. There were reports of the structural integrity becoming compromised on those buildings, and they had to go. And that is not the worst of it, because you have other people who literally have nowhere else to go, and they are living in these areas that are low-lying. They're living there because they had nowhere else to build or nowhere else to live, and those are the ones that then had to go to community halls if they were available. The municipality did put out a list saying that people would have access to various community halls, but some of them have not been able to reach those. Even as we speak, there are a number of reports coming in of houses that have been completely washed away, families that are missing, and all of those people have not been reached yet. So that is the real crisis that we are facing now, for people that have nowhere else to go and those that have lost all of their belongings.
Well, Desin, I'm going to have to leave it there for now. The briefing by eThekwini is at 11:30, but a little later on I'll speak to you about how tourism might be affected in KZN, especially looking at the fact that we are approaching a long weekend where people probably were hoping to make their way to the coast. That was senior reporter Desin Thathia in Durban for us. Staying